All right, welcome back to Morning at NTV. Let's talk matters nutrition this morning, all right? So it's breakfast time, and if you haven't had yours yet, why not just add some more ingredients to it? And we're talking about fish, and this is why.
Now, the National Agriculture Research Organization and Makerere University are today launching a project meant to promote fish in different forms. Yes, there's so many forms of eating fish, please. And we are talking fish this morning, yes. Now, we have Dr. Anthony Taabu. He is the Director, National Fisheries Resources Research Institute. Welcome to Morning at NTV.
Thank you very much, and good morning, viewers.
We're joined by Dr. Jackson Efitre, the Senior Lecturer at Makerere University Department of Zoology and Fisheries Sciences. So, first of all, when it comes to fish for breakfast, we should be saying yes, yes, yes. Why?
Why? Because fish is nutritious. Fish provides us with so many nutrients, including what we call micronutrients. And these are substances or elements which we need in small quantities, but they are really very essential for growth and development. So when we eat fish, we are supplying ourselves with nutrients which help us to develop better, which help our kids to grow faster, which help our women to avoid the elements, especially during pregnancy, because they get iron, for example, which can avoid anemia. They get vitamins, which is very important. They get iodine, which is essential for children's development, especially the brain.
And omega-3.
Yes.
Omega-3.
I was waiting for that because a number of times we have to buy these supplements, yet we could just be eating these supplements. Now, bringing it closer to home, Uganda, the fact that there should be supply, there is supply. But do we see that there has been a lack in terms of the supply meeting the demand, or is it not there at all?
First of all, we actually have fish, but the supply has been in different forms. First and foremost is that we have been depending on the fish in its entirety. You just get a fish, probably get a fillet off, or get the thing and throw the skeleton, and then eat the rest of the fish. But we're now trying to see that even these products that are not being utilized as much also are captured into the picture, and then we have sufficient supply to the country. We actually have so many that we can use in different forms, and then we get we move to the level where we can say we now have sufficiency.
Doctor, the skeleton.
Yes.
How?
Now, you know, the old going, the adage, that the nearer the bone, the sweeter the meat. So even this fish, when you take off the fillet and leave that fish which is nearer to the skeleton, that the places where we have the highest concentration of nutrients that we want to eat.
Whoa, we
so
didn't
do
know
we
that.
Go and just mash the bone? Because when it comes to fish bones, they're a bit tricky and quite dangerous for a number of people who either have swallowed them. Some people don't even notice as they're eating, and whoops, it's lodged somewhere.
Probably, first of all, when you are utilizing, for example, a fish frame, you get a fish frame, and to have taken off the fillet, which is for various reasons exported to earn us a foreign exchange, then what remains there, we now preserve it. It goes through the processing. But if you process, if your worry is about the bones which have even calcium, as you were saying, you can get very little nutrients. The moment you do it, you crush them, you can make them into powder and get substances which were actually hidden in those bones, but now after crushing and making them into powder, you make a soup out of that, and nutrients are extracted, you get all those. But small ones like this one, the ones we will be looking at in the next few minutes, they don't have those much big bones. You eat whole.
Yeah.
It's like you're eating chips, perhaps.
Yeah.
So about the powder, you say you can have some soup with a fish powder.
Yes.
What else can I do with this fish powder?
You can actually mix this with other ingredients like maize, like amaranth, the dodo, and then formulate products for different groups. For children, you want something which they can enjoy. So what we are going to do is to make sure that our products are appealing. They look very good to the eye, and they are nutritious. They are very safe. We are going to do rigorous analysis to make sure they are safe and affordable. So for children, we will target things like porridge and things like pudding and, you know, maybe biscuits. But we are really looking at things which they can easily take. But for the women, we can make supplemental feeds, like mix them, and especially during pregnancy, they need these ions.
Correct, correct. You know, you're saying we can make. These are products that you see in the supermarket shelves, but many people shy away, especially from the powders, because they say that, you know, the production quality was not considered, especially when it comes to powder products. They say that it has stones and stuff like that. So what are you doing to ensure that once you get into the game, that the quality is sorted out, that it is at 100% excellence at that?
One of the things this project will do is to improve the quality of fish. We realize that our fish are processed in very rudimentary way. For example, women drying this small mokene on the ground, and they get it mixed with the soil, and animals can move around and contaminate it, or it can be contaminated with the dust. So we are trying to pilot the use of a solar tent dryer in this project. The solar tent dryer is climate smart, which means you can use it in wet season, when actually we lose more fish. And it will not get contaminated. Our fish will not get contaminated, and it will dry faster, and the quality will be higher because we will not have any contamination. And we are working with a private partner in this project called NUTREAL, who are already in the process of making other food products based on plants and so on. So the quality will be guaranteed because we are trying to get our products certified by UNBS. So before they go to the market, the Bureau of Standards will have to certify them.
Quality assurance.
Quality assurance, yes.
Right.
One of the things that I should also add, thank you very much, my colleague, we have packaged this project in worker packages. And one of the worker packages, actually the second worker package, is going to look at exactly what you're talking about. The socio-economic factors that are impeding people to do what? To get access to these products and even take them. We want, first of all, to identify why are people not liking these things? Why are people having reasons why they should avoid fish? Why do some people even avoid, like now, the small ones, which they call trash fish? Why do they refuse them? So that we know, when we know that, then we know now the causes why people have been dodging them, and we see how to address them in the project.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about one of those reasons. Now, when it comes to fish and the scent, the smell, yes? Yes, the powder, opening it up, looks very beautiful. Yes. I don't mind the smell of fish, never have I. But for a number of people, they'll say, oh, when we prepare it at home, everything ends up smelling like fish. You have to use hot water, you have to find a way of making sure that it was a nutritious meal, but now you have to deal with the smell. So we're talking about how to change that perspective and that perception, that if it smells that type of way, that it's doing something good for your body. How do we change the scent?
Well, I will tell you why the fish smell, first of all, because they are not being processed properly. One of the things you need to do is to dry fish completely, so that the amount of water in the fish is very low. So that microorganisms which cause that smell, which cause the degradation, do not have a chance. So you make sure the moisture is very low, and one of the things we'll do is to ensure that our fish are properly dried using this solar tent dryer. And you are right, when you cook the small mukene and your neighbor smells it, they will say, oh, those ones, poverty.
It has come for them.
So the smell comes from improper processing, which we are going to try to address in this project. But if dried properly, fish shouldn't actually smell.
Okay. All right, so we have this amazing campaign that is coming through, and I'm sure the viewers are asking, why has it taken you so long? 2019, and fish has been there for ages, so why now? What informs the timing? I think, Doctor, you can take that.
Thank you very much. In nature, there's always a time to come for something. First of all, this year, we're lucky that the African Union at the global scale looked at, first of all, issues of nutrition. And one of the issues they tried to, at African Union, tried to put at the forefront is nutrition. And there has been always the issue of people accessing resources, but they do not access actually what is available. And that's why we came up with the idea we normally call hidden hunger. That if you get a resource, but within that resource there isn't enough nutrients that you are looking for, you do what? You have a challenge. You have a lot, but you are not getting the actual nutrients or benefits from that one.
Correct.
So this year when Africa came up with that, and then there was this call by IDRC, International Development Research Center of Canada. So they put up a call, and they were also focusing on nutrition. Then we said, this is now the chance. We put brains together and made a bid. We wrote a project focusing on the area of nutrition, and that's where Africa was looking at, and that's where IDRC was looking at. Then, because we came up with a project that was being looked at by development partners as essential, we got the resources to do it. So initially, we wouldn't do it because there were no resources. It's always, these things always move with resources.
Okay. Yeah. Can you take us from point A to B, what A to Z, beg your pardon, just to explain what the project will entail, what activities will be engraved in there, what difference it will make, not just for the project, handlers, but also for the community at large?
Yeah, this project is aimed at increasing availability, accessibility, and consumption of particularly small fish and products made out of Nile perch processing byproducts for sustainable food and nutritional security, and also for livelihood. So what we intend to do is, first of all, if you are going to increase availability of fish, you need to know how much is in the waters. So what is the quantity of these small fish we have in our waters? And we are going to do that by doing what we call stock assessment, just determining the quantities. Once we know that, then we are going to look at the factors which cause losses. In this country, in Uganda, we lose 40% of the fish we catch, which means 4 fish in 10 is lost. So we are going to look at these factors and then try to reduce losses by using what I already said, the solar tent dryer. We are also going to use an improved smoking kiln to try to reduce the losses. The third thing, which is very exciting, is developing products out of these fish, small fish and the Nile perch processing byproducts, which will be very, very nutritious, because we already know actually the Nile perch byproducts are more, they are richer in nutrients compared to the fillet itself, which we are exporting. We are also going to address socioeconomic and institutional factors which is impeding people from eating fish. We find that there are certain myths, perceptions, and cultures which actually prevent our people from eating fish. So we are going to do training of people, sensitization, and behavioral change, so that people can appreciate fish and start eating fish. The last thing is capacity building on the value chain of fish, the different stages which fish go through. We have people who are there. We are going to train them how to process fish properly, how to make their families eat fish, and also we are going to train students, because we need to train the next generation of scientists who are going to do this food and nutritional security. But the main idea is there is a high malnutrition rate in Uganda, especially what we call high hidden hunger, and this was highlighted even this year in our budget. Honorable Maitia Kasaija, when he was reading the budget, highlighted 3 key issues, development challenges Uganda is facing. One of them is malnutrition or poor lifestyles. So this project is in line with the national policies and development agenda.
Now, taking it to those 3 key issues that you mentioned, that the minister did mention, one of them being malnutrition, but another being income inequality and also poverty. So the fact is that some people would want to eat fish. At this point in time, it's quite expensive for a number of people. And now you're saying there are even other forms. I can have fish for breakfast, I can have fish for lunch and for supper, even a snack. It's possible. Will they be affordable for each and every person in Uganda?
Yes, we will make them affordable, because you realize when you add quality or value, you are increasing the price. So what our private partner has done or is going to do is to formulate these products from fish, and then also low quality, cheaper ingredients like maize. During harvesting season, you can buy a kilo of maize at 500 shillings. So if you mix this with the cheap ingredients, and then it lowers the cost. So we will make sure that our products are affordable, especially to the poorest communities, and also the most vulnerable, including women and children under 5, who are actually our primary targets.
Okay.
And one of the things that we're also going to do, first of all, these fishes, we are going to analyze their nutritional content, such that when we produce a product, just as the doctor has said, that product has some ingredients added in, but from the fish we have said it has this amount of minerals, has this amount of this, and then it's properly displayed on its container, and therefore attracting the people who want to purchase it.
Okay.
Yeah. And because we are using, as you have said, we are using most of the ingredients which are locally produced in the country. They don't attract these other taxes and what, so they are not going to be as more expensive than those imported products.
All right. Maybe one last question as we wrap up. In terms of increasing the production capacity, are we going to also empower communities to get into fish farming, for example, just for them to maybe put up fish ponds and stuff like that? Will the project cater for that as well?
This project is looking at also the possibility of developing entrepreneurship out of the fish value chain, and we are targeting especially women and youth through employing them in processing. If we have these solar tent dryers, they can form groups, acquire one, and then rent it out to people who want to dry their fish. That way they generate income. And most importantly, you realize that women are usually disadvantaged. They are not empowered in terms of income and so on. So we have a specific gender strategy to make sure that our women benefit from this project. So we are going to target gender as part of the outcomes of this project to make sure that by the end of 3 years, they are empowered in terms of income, in terms of decision making, who eats what in the family, and so on.
All right, so the focus is on the processing.
Yes, but in relation to fish farming, this project may not look in that direction.
Okay.
But we have now, Uganda is very lucky. We have a huge project, a 10 million euro project funded by EU that is looking at mainly fish farming, and it's looking at now trying to develop what we can call aquaculture parks, where there's concentrated fish farming farmers, both one of them land water-based. We are going to pilot in an area in Kalangala, and then another one in a patch which is going to be land-based, so that they are concentrating on stimulating production through aquaculture, through fish farming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rita.
Well, that has been our conversation this morning on our breakfast review, and it was talking about nutrition when it comes to fish. NutriFish, yes, so for breakfast, lunch and supper, you can have fish with a new project that is now being launched today, meant to promote consumption of fish in different forms. We have been joined by Dr. Anthony Taabu. He is the Director, National Fisheries Resource Research Institute. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you very much.
And Dr. Jackson Efitre, the Senior Lecturer at Makerere University, Department of Zoology, I need to say that very carefully, and Fisheries Sciences. Well, for your mind, for your child's mind, also for you who's an entrepreneur, this could be an option, and also for you, an expectant mother, and also sometimes if you're planning on getting pregnant, you can start this whole new eating healthy.
Yeah.
Well, that has been our conversation for the breakfast review. Morning at NTV is going to take a short break, and we'll be coming right back.
You're watching Morning at NTV.